I would like to talk about the election, um, the presidential election coming up. Here I have some Saratoga spring water. They're natural springs um, near where I live. But, um, yes, I would like to talk about President Obama for just a second here. President Obama, as you know, created what's called Obamacare. And Obamacare is forced health care because you don't have a choice if you um, don't want to get health care or not. You're basically forced to get it, otherwise you're going to get penalized for that or taxed. And to me, that is just absolutely not right. It's unconstitutional. In our Constitution, we have the freedom to choose which services we want. We shouldn't be forced to get those. And you know, I think it's really, really, really sad that so many people would actually support this man when he's actually working towards taking away more of our freedoms. And he's not a person that's going to uphold the Constitution. He's not a person who's going to address our debt, but rather he'll continue to spend more and more and more money. Ron Paul addresses these issues with precision, and Ron Paul has ran for 3 times. And all these 3 times he's been laughed at, ridiculed, mocked, made fun of, persecuted, and marginalized, to say the least. It's unfortunate because I believe that Ron Paul would probably be one of the greatest presidents we have ever had. And I say that with sincerity because Ron Paul has always voted against bills that would go against our Constitution. He has an impeccable record. He stands up for what he believes in. He's a Christian, like many of the early founding fathers were. And I'm not talking about just Thomas Jefferson or Benjamin Franklin, because many people would say that they were deists and therefore our country's not a Christian nation, but that's a bunch of baloney, because the United States is a Christian nation. If you just look into it, you'll find that out, because most people only know about 2 or 3 of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, but they don't know the other 53 signers of the Declaration of Independence, who were basically Christians, and very strong Christians at that. In fact, it was the United States Congress who wrote the very first Bible. I believe it was the American Bible of the Revolution back in the 1700s. Yeah, our own Congress wrote the first Bible. And they actually had prayer for like an hour or whatever, sometimes 3 hours. And they would fast, actually the whole country would. It was a big deal. You know, we took our faith very seriously in this country. God was taught in the schools for up to 300 years after the United States became this great nation. You know, and there was Bibles in the school. And of course, we printed many Bibles thanks to the printing press, and we handed these Bibles out to everybody, and we learned. You know, people learned, and they were respectful. They had morals. They had values. We didn't see such high levels of divorce. Families were strong. Mom and dad stuck together. It's unfortunate today that kids have to grow up in divorced homes. So many people don't respect marriage. Instead of looking at marriage as a beautiful thing, people now look at it as some form of contract, or, you know, or they're in bondage, which is awful. So, you know, I really admire Ron Paul. I would hope and pray that perhaps he could run for president again in 2016, but if he can't, I'm sure there will be another great person out there that would run. But as far as who to vote for this time around, I'm not going to tell anybody who to vote for, but I do believe that a person should only vote for that person in which they believe in. And that means that even if the person that you believe in has no chance of winning, you should still put your vote in them. Because voting for the lesser of two evils, or the two people that only have a chance at winning, that's no good, because you're compromising your beliefs for something that you think is going to help the country, when in all actuality it will not. Unfortunately, Mitt Romney and Obama aren't that much different, and we won't see a very great change with either one of them. It's sad for me to have to say that, but it is the truth. You know, our early founding fathers, our early presidents, were nothing, absolutely nothing like these Republicans and Democrats that are running now. They upholded the Constitution and our freedoms with great respect. You know, and as far as President Obama saying he's a Christian, he absolutely is not. Now, I can't judge a person's heart, but I can judge their fruit. And let me tell you, the things that Obama has said and the things that Obama has done clearly would tell me that he is in no way, shape, or form a Christian. So, you know, some of you may not think that's a big deal. I do. You know, it's just amazing that so many people would actually support and vote for him. And it's tragic. It's tragic. But, you know, sometimes if things go bad, sometimes good things replace the bad things. You know, so essentially, I would say for people to educate themselves, learn about our American history, learn about the signers of the Declaration of Independence, perhaps buy the American Bible of the Revolution. You know, there's so many great resources out there, and I don't really believe that a lot of people are that educated about this, because there's so many things that we aren't taught in school. And I'm not saying that our country has never done bad things. Of course we have. But I do think that there's a lot of things that we can actually do. You know, we can support those people that would lead our country in a good way, and we can fight out against those who would do harm to our country by not voting or supporting them. So that make a good choice and educate. Because like me, you know, I've taken the initiative to really educate myself on a lot of these matters, and there's so much to learn, and don't take life for granted.